Have you ever hit that stress wall where your go-to coping mechanisms just like bounce right off?
Oh, totally.
Like you try deep breathing, you try meditating, but your brain is still running a million miles an hour and you just can't seem to force your body to relax.
Yeah, it's a super common ceiling because when you're in a physiological state of overwhelm, internal tools alone sometimes, well, they just aren't enough to bring your nervous system back to baseline.
Right.
You basically end up fighting your own biology.
Exactly. And that brings us to our sources for today's deep dive. We're looking at a YouTube video from an entrepreneur and yoga teacher named Osman.
Okay.
And we're unpacking this experience he had in South Africa that just fundamentally challenged his whole understanding of stress relief. The mission today is to figure out how simply standing next to a massive succulent somehow outperformed, years of his dedicated meditation practice.
Well, the context is really vital here because Osman is someone with a highly cultivated toolkit for managing anxiety.
Yeah, through energy healing and yoga.
Right. But he hit a breaking point running his business, and he just needed an immediate reset. So he and his wife retreat to Aloe Lodge, which is about an hour or two north of Johannesburg.
And it's this 5-star, but strictly tech-free sanctuary. Like, there are no TVs, phones are heavily discouraged.
Okay.
Yeah, you're really just sitting by a fireplace. But the real feature is the landscape itself. You are completely surrounded by these gigantic aloe
I'm
plants.
talking like prehistoric-looking succulents,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, with leaves taller than you are. I mean, it's almost like stepping into an environment where the plants dictate the rules of the landscape, not us.
And that scale triggers a massive sensory shift because Osman actually described the air as incredibly fresh, carrying this distinct aloe scent.
Right.
But it wasn't just, a pleasant smell. He experienced what he actually called an intoxicating calmness.
Okay, so I have to play devil's advocate here for a second.
Go for it.
If I shut my laptop, leave my business behind, and go to a luxury lodge in South Africa, I mean, of course I'm going to feel an intoxicating calmness.
Sure, yeah. So how do we know it's the aloe and not just the universal relief of, like, being on a nice vacation?
It's the right question to ask, for sure. But the difference really lies in the depth and the effortlessness of the shift. Because Osman is trained in mindfulness.
Right. He knows what it feels like.
Exactly. He knows exactly what internal peace feels like when he actively works for it. And he noted that this ambient calmness hit him entirely unprompted.
Wow.
Yeah, it actually surpassed the deepest states he usually reaches through active meditation. And it required zero conscious effort on his part.
See, the aftermath of that trip is what really sells it for me. So the next morning, they drive 2 hours back to Johannesburg. And Osman admits he is, like, a chronic talker.
Yeah.
He routinely spends 2.5 hours a day on the phone with his best friend. And he says he cannot drive without the radio blaring.
Which is a very modern symptom, using external noise to just drown out the internal static.
Completely. But for this entire 2-hour drive, the radio is off.
Really? Yeah. He realizes he feels too profoundly relaxed to even form words. His wife feels the exact same way. They literally spend 2 hours awake in a car in complete, absolute silence.
That's wild.
He actually considers it a singular event in his entire life.
I mean, this really bridges natural botanical properties with what we see in ancient energy sciences. We tend to view aloe as just a commodity.
Right, like a gel for sunburns.
Exactly, or a digestive supplement you buy in a plastic bottle at the pharmacy.
But Osman is arguing that the living plant itself is doing something active to our nervous system. It makes me think of biological noise-canceling headphones.
I like that.
Because when you put those on, they aren't just passively blocking sound, right? They are actively emitting a frequency that neutralizes the chaotic noise around you.
Yeah.
So are these giant plants doing the same thing, like chemically or energetically?
That is a brilliant way to look at it. From a biological standpoint, plants release phytoncides.
Wait, what are those?
They're airborne organic compounds. And when we inhale them, they actively lower cortisol levels and blood pressure.
Oh, wow.
So when you combine that chemical neutralization with the sheer visual scale of these ancient plants, you are basically stepping into a concentrated field of down-regulating stimuli.
So the botanical environment acts as that neutralizing frequency.
Yes.
So for you listening, I mean, this fundamentally changes how you might approach stress management. If your internal meditation practice feels like an uphill battle, maybe your environment is just working against you.
Exactly. It moves us from, doing relaxation to simply absorbing an environment that forces the body to stand down. It becomes a massive, effortless booster to your existing mindfulness practices.
It really highlights the raw power of nature to reset our chaotic digital habits, and without us having to force it at all.
Yeah, effortlessly.
Which leaves you with something to ponder today. If being near a giant aloe plant can literally silence a chronic talker and outperform years of intentional meditation, what ambient botanical energies might you be completely ignoring in your own daily environment?
That's a great question.
Maybe you don't need to muscle through your stress with pure willpower. Maybe you just need the right plant to neutralize the noise.